Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I don't know if I've done a reading for you before. I'd like to explain real quick kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. I try to describe that picture the best that I can. There is always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind. Because you'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. This is not an exact science. We communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you have to stretch it outside the box a little bit. He will not give me all the details I'm hearing, especially about his death, because I used to feel it, smell it, be really into it, and I would cry after every reading because it would be so intense. So I've asked them not to show me their actual death anymore unless it's absolutely necessary. So I got sidetracked. Anyway, so he's not going to give me all the details. Should give me just enough so you know what he's referring to. He says, "Spit it out, Rhonda." I get bitched at from the other side too. I get a double whammy all the time. So, okay, he says careless, careless, careless. Okay. Just so you know, I got into mediumship because of suicide. So suicides, a lot of them are drawn to me because I totally understand both sides of it now. I don't know that I really understand the other side, but anyway, he says it was and it wasn't an accident. Yes, he did it. But he didn't really mean to do it. Okay, let me see where we're going with this. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did it. Just one of those spur of the moment things. It had crossed my mind. I think he said over the years. So it's not like this is his first rodeo with those thoughts. He said, I just felt like I'm just tired of dealing with this shit. And I don't think he means any one person or any one thing. It's just like shit after shit after shit. It's kind of like one of those things like the bricks just kept piling up on him. Or like my Bob, if you've seen any of my readings, my Bob that has passed on, he used to show me that I was always digging myself in a hole, and just couldn't get out of it. He says, I just finally had enough. Just it was like the last brick was piled on and just had enough. Spur of the moment. Didn't know what else to do. He's kind of saying it like that. Didn't know what else to do. Just sick of shit. And he's doing it kind of. I don't know if he talked like he probably shaking my whole table. Sorry, I'm in my camper. This is my office away from home. Um, just didn't want to deal with shit anymore. Was it the smartest thing I've ever done? No, not by far. Careless. Not trying to put ideas in his head. I want him to tell me we're we're talking when I'm. You can talk to him. I promise you 1,000%. He can hear you. He can see you. You can talk to him all you want to. You don't have to do it out loud. We have I always forget the word when I go to do this. We have ears up here. So you don't have to open your mouth to talk to him. He can hear you in your head. when you yell at him, when you scream at him, and when you cuss at him, and you're not doing it out loud, he can hear you. He said, I deserve every word you've yelled at me since I left. He says, I can take that. I own it. I deserve it. Shame on me. And I'll tell you, in all the readings I've dealt with about, I hate the word suicide. I hate that they kill them. I don't know which word to use. I hate all of them because I've been through it. And it's different than losing my friend to cancer, and it's different than losing my friend to a heart attack. It's the shoulda, woulda, couldas. He said, you've held his hand before. You may not have known over time that he was thinking about this. He had thought about it off and on. Just thought it'd be easier just to get the hell out of here. But that you had unknowingly like calmed him down or made him change his mind, or you didn't, he never told you. And it's like my Bob, he never told anybody he's going to do that. He never told anybody he thought about doing that. Subject never came up. He just did it. So he might have been, your brother might have been the same way. That you might have gotten an inkling, like I did with Bob. At the very end, I kind of got an inkling this was going to happen. Then he kind of goes like this. He says, so where are you going to go from here with this? Where are you going to go from here with this? Are you going to let this beat the shit out of you? Are you going to let your guilt that doesn't belong to you beat the shit out of you? And he's saying his words with force. Like I'm trying to say it just like he's saying it. Or are you going to put your big girl panties on and realize it had nothing to do with you? It was my decision. It had nothing to do with you. Could you have stopped? Could you have stopped me if you were there? So are you thinking that maybe, oh, if I'd just been there, I could have stopped this? Yeah, I thought the same thing, my situation. He said, maybe. That's not the way it was supposed to work. It was my choice. It's my baggage. It's my decision. He's being very forceful with his words. I did not chicken shit out of it. I don't know if somebody he said something to somebody before and they called him a chicken shit. It's kind of, I don't know where he got that from. This is my burden, my cross to bear, not yours. If I stepped out in front of a car and got hit, is that your fault? Unless you're driving the car, you do it on purpose. He says, don't do the blame game. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame others, because it was my free will choice. Did I fuck up? Yeah. I have not heard one that I've talked to in the last however many years I've been doing this that left that way, that is happy that they did it. When they look back and they see how it devastates us still here, and they go, wow, they don't even think about that when it comes to the time. They don't care because they're in so much pain. How much pain it's going to cause their loved ones left behind. And then when they see it, he can see you, he can hear you. So when they see it, then they go, man, I wish I hadn't done that. Do they go to heaven? Absolutely 100%. God, creator, what higher power, whatever you believe, there is something out there. If the word God bothers you, it's still something. You can call it George. I don't care what you call it. There's some higher power. And they are so loving, so forgiving. And they cleanse us when we get there. And I call it peeling us like an onion. We get all the heavy anger and grief and, all these heavy negative damn it. Uh-oh, I cussed. Emotions. Usually it's emotions off of us. And then we're light and bright and our vibration. And that's what the only thing that dies is your body. Your spirit, your soul does not die. And yes, they do go to heaven, if that's what you want to call it. And honestly, I don't believe in hell. Because God, whatever you want to call George up there, forgives everybody. He said whoever they are, forgave, say it again, they forgave me of my sins. Grandma. He's like very excited. Grandma was here. Grandma is here. Grandma was there. Grandma. And it's like he's a little kid going, Grandma. He's not showing me Grandma. Let's see if he'll show her enough so I can describe her. Now we say the little lady next door can feel more like your grandma than your real blood grandma that's clear across the country that you talk to once a year on Christmas. So just keep that in mind too. So whatever grandma that is crossed over that he would be that excited about, like when he's a little kid, Grandma, that's who he's talking about. Is there a grandma whose name starts with a G, or maybe he called her Granny or G or GG or something about a G associated with this grandma? And I feel safe again. I don't have to go to that damn job again. And it's okay. He says, in my world, it's okay. He is talking about people. People need to be more careful with their words when they're talking to somebody. Words can hurt. I don't think he's talking about just one person. I think he's talking about multiple people that he's encountered in his life. And it could be a boss, it could be a coworker, it could be all of these people combined. He says people in general need to be more careful about the words that they choose when they talk to somebody. They don't realize how words cut like a knife. They're not worthless. I'm mean. I'm worth a ton. And know that I will always love you. Okay, so I'm asking him for signs that he's going to send you. And I don't think he's been gone very long, I'm assuming. So he may not, maybe he has not decided exactly, or maybe he hasn't found out yet exactly what kind, how to leave signs and what kind of signs to leave. But he's showing me a big white feather. usually have one in front of me, but he's showing it. Do it again. Like this big white feather, and it just kind of slowly comes down right in front of your face. You may have one do that. They're not all going to do that. And most people know about feathers and coins and what else is it? Butterflies and things like that. So he's using one of the common ones, big white feather. And I've actually seen, I was sitting on a deck with a bunch of people, and I've actually seen like a little bitty feather, but I could see a finger. I don't know whose finger it was, but I could see the finger. I didn't tell anybody else that. They'd think I was batshit crazy where I was at that moment. And I could see the finger making this feather go up real slow, and then it come down real slow, and then it go over here. But I could see the finger moving it. So you're going to find these feathers in unusual places. If you walk under a tree that has birds and a nest in it, that's not going to count. That's not going to be the feather. It's the ones that I find on the dashboard when my truck windows are rolled up and my truck's locked. It's the one that I find in my drink when I wasn't around any birds, and I look at my cup and go, where did that come from? You'll find it in unusual places. Maybe like when you first get out of your vehicle. Oh, okay, I'll tell her. Like when you get out of your vehicle, you might look down. There might be a feather right outside your door as you step out or step onto the sidewalk when you're going somewhere. He says he wants you to play first song on the radio. I call it. That's what Bob and I do. First song on the radio. So let's say I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to be there for an hour or so. And I tell Bob, first song on the radio will be from you when I come out. And sometimes I'll feel like I need to be pushed out the door, like, oh my gosh, I got to go. It's going to be on. I mean, I can feel it. I can tell. Like, or I might hang around a little bit and go, it's not quite time. But you have to give them a little bit of time to kind of manipulate. Anyway, when you walk it, that's Rhonda, shut up. So then give it plenty of time. Or if you go to work, say, okay, when I get off work, first song on the radio when I get in my vehicle. And then see what it is. He's talking about cowboy songs. I don't know if you listen to country western music or whether he did. You don't have to listen to country western music to do the first song on the radio. He just mentioned that. That's what I listen to mostly. So anyway, first song on the radio will be a message from him to you, and you can do it all the time. I do. It's simple, it's easy, and they love using music to talk to you. He's singing. He's singing the song by Sly and the Family Stone called I Want to Take You Higher. That's an old song back in my day. So go Google that one, YouTube it, whatever, and listen to the words to that. I still love you, sissy. And he says, sis. Love does not die. You're going to find that out. Love does not die. And you're going to find out just how much I love you. Okay, he's telling me the same thing they always tell me when somebody asks about their things. He says, I don't give a shit what you do with my things. Let people pick what they want. Don't be stingy. I don't have that much. Let them pick what they want. And I'll tell you, once we transition to the other side, we don't care about our couch. We don't care about our car. We don't care about all those material things that pretty much down here, all we do is worry about our material things. Oh, I need a new car. Oh, I need a new house. We don't care about that stuff anymore because we find out how little importance that stuff really is with your life. That is not what life's supposed to be about. It's stuff. It's just stuff. Once we go to the other side, they tell me it's just stuff. It's somebody else is going to have it now. Why did I care so much about that stuff? He said he was kind of sad because he didn't think he had enough stuff. And it weighed very heavily on him because he thought he should be able to provide, not exactly have, but provide more stuff. And he didn't feel like he could get enough stuff that other people expected him to do. I love you. He's talking about pinky swears. Did you guys ever do pinky swears? So whatever that pinky swear was for, and it could be when you were little bitty, that it still goes. Whatever the pinky swears were, it still goes. Don't forget that I love you. Love never dies. Don't forget that I love you. Love never dies. Don't forget that I love you. Love never dies. It's making me want to. I can't hear the music. There's music, but I can't quite hear it. So I don't know why we're dancing around. Tell Mom hi. I don't even want to go into the disappointment there. And we really don't have feelings like disappointment and anger and all that blah, blah, blah when we're on the other side, but he is kind of disappointed in himself because he can see the anguish that he has caused and the shoulda, woulda, couldas. He says, but give me, not me. He wants you to give him the baggage. It's his baggage. He keeps saying, it's my baggage, my baggage, my baggage. It's not yours. You are not allowed to hold on to my baggage because it's not yours. And I'm giving you permission to hand it back to me. Don't take it on yourself. That's my shit, not yours. Just remember I love you. And it'll be all right. And with that, he's actually taking a suitcase and walking off with it. It's his baggage. He's taking it from you because it's not yours. So even like in our energy work, we tell people, I've done it so many times, I need to do some more. Put your shit in a suit. Just imagine it. I'm sorry, I'm muttering again. Just visualize putting his crap, it's not yours, in a suitcase. Visualize you handing it back to him and letting him carry it because it's his load to carry, not yours. And it took me over 2 years to figure out I should not carry Bob's baggage because what he did was his deal. I didn't do it. I didn't cause it. So, I lost my cursor. He says so far he's just come up with the feather. So he will do more later. He'll be around. Give him permission. Give him permission to enter your house. Give him permission to be around. Give him permission. Ask him to bring you signs. Give him permission. A lot of times I'll go to cleanse a house and I'll see Dad or somebody standing in the corner and they're afraid to come forward. Like, I don't want to scare them. I don't know if I'm welcome to step forward, So if you see things out of the corner of your eye in your peripheral vision while you're at home, know that that's probably him. He hasn't said that, but for some reason that popped in my head. Anyway, much love to you, my dear. Let me know if you need anything. I'm kind of near and dear to suicides. They're my thing. I don't know, my thing to help with, I think, because I understand it so strongly. Much love to you, Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Much, much love and healing to you. Let him take the baggage. He's very strong about that. Let him carry his own burden. Later.